All right, welcome to episode 190 of Live Drawing. This is the road to the Little Giant show in Concord, New Hampshire this coming weekend. I will be a guest there. We have all kinds of artwork. We got the books. Big thing for the show is these VIP prints that we did. As you can see, they are Little Giants exclusives for the show. And if you're a VIP, you'll get one of these three. Either the one that I drew, or the one that Joe St. Pierre drew, which looks great. Colors look great. Or the one that Rich Woodall did. There's Lord Crackus with his martini glass. But yeah, all three of us will be at the show. And if you're a VIP, you get one of these three prints. And you can bring it around and we can sign them for you. And Joe, who normally charges for a signature, is waiving his fee for signing. And I can sign all three as the creator of the character and hop on down. It's a great show. So technically our second official print, we did do a print for San Diego Comic-Con in 2023, which was an official debut print. And I do have a handful of these left. But the VIP prints are the latest and greatest. They're on really nice matte stock. They're printed well. The color reproduction is excellent. They're crisp, and they should take any kind of signing pen that people prefer. So, good evening, Jonathan. So we are on our way. I have two commissions that I have to finish. One is this one that I took a picture of. And it's Nubia of DC. I wanted to do an action scene. And the person whom this is for has been a big supporter of mine and a lot of creators in the area. So I wanted to go all out and have her fighting some parademons beneath Apocalypse. So it would be like they're attacking New Eden or whatever in the New Gods. So I thought that would be a fun piece. Little parademons coming out. I still got to finish penciling this fella here, but we got to keep moving on it because the show's coming up. We got to get it done. So I have one other I have to do that is an Undersea Hero one, which I should be able to do, as we've done many here, in a single evening. But this one will take probably 2 nights plus an afternoon. Got to stay hydrated. I found myself dehydrated the other day, and it was not a good situation to be in. But I hope everyone else is doing well. We've made it to Wednesday, so we're halfway through the. If people work the Monday through Friday schedule, we're halfway through that. I've got to find the soft one. Where's the soft one? Oh. Did I lose it? I hope I didn't lose it. That would be bad. The Undersea Hero, if I'm finishing it Friday night, will not be a problem. I can do that one. I have the concept. I did a prelim, and I've already come up with what I consider the hard part with Undersea Hero is the concept. Because as we've talked about on this stream, Undersea Hero is not meant to be a vessel for pop culture references and stuff. So you have to come up with sort of timeless scenarios that work for the character. Why am I missing pens? Sorry, I was running a little late getting things together for the show. There it is. There's the one that I couldn't find. Don't need any extra smalls on this drawing. 0.3, 0.7, 0.5, and then a regular one. It should be good. Get drawn. But that's how it is, you know. I mean, I think, Jonathan, we've talked about it before, where like when you're a guest artist, like there are some people think that you're going there to goof off, and you know, I can't tell you how many shows I've gone to where, you know, the first night of the show, you're staying up till, you know, 11, 12, 1, 2 in the morning just doing commissions in the room because thankfully you're busy. But, you know, it is helpful when people reach out to us before the show and we can try to get some stuff done before we're, you know, at the hotel or whatever. But we don't always have that luxury. I will be doing a big push for pre-show commissions for Heroes Con in June. So if you see me doing multiple posts about the same thing, it's just because that show this year has my most overhead. So I'll be looking to hopefully get some pre-show commissions lined up to help bite into the travel costs and things. But you know, Heroes was a bucket list show for me. I've done most of the big shows in North America at this point. You know, I would love to do a show over in Europe. We have the Undersea Hero French edition coming out from Talk Comics. My friend Thierry over there. I shared the cover that just got released this week. Undersea Hero is the cover character for issue 2, which we're very excited about. Arthas, it's going okay. We're trying to get ourselves ready for the convention. We're working on this commission here. How are you? I did get one ink done on my lunch break. It was this face right here. So, working on something different tonight? What are you working on? Something good? Something? I'm totally missing some pens. I don't know what's going on. It's all right. It'll be okay. Undersea Hero update for the Kickstarter. I meant to do that right off the top. I've started to ship some of the bigger stuff. I've had all the packaging delivered and everything. The people who ordered original pages, which was a very rare thing and a very bittersweet thing for me to do, those have started to go out the door. So if you were a person who got the original page reward, those have started to go out today. I'm hoping to get them all packed next week, the rest of them. There's a few that I'm dropping off and handing off at the show this weekend. Um, so yeah, if anybody on the stream is awaiting something, you can always let me know you're going to be at a show, and there's shipping built into the what you paid, and I would absolutely refund the shipping or whatever. So I think I owe you a few bucks, Jonathan, since I just handed you yours. Maybe you'll let me just buy you a beer or something. Fell behind on the 60 gesture drawing, so I was too tired to get to 60. I completely understand that. Why am I seeing this? Oh, there we go. This new interface with Restream, you got to be patient with me on. Sometimes they have these little pop-ups that are like, do you want to do this? And I'm like, I don't know what that means. Yeah, my nice herbal tea. When is beer not fine? I'm told it's frowned upon at work, but I've heard this. I can't verify. We still got to check out that arcade bar that you pointed out. Making a piece of promo art, similar to the Jam Kickstarter webcomic. We'll send you a link when I'm done. Cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. I did see the Masters of the Universe trailer, and that looks very fun. I know people have been poo-pooing it. I'm sorry. It looks fun. It's not a movie I'm expecting to walk away having, my vision of the film industry changed, but it does look like it could be fun. So I might venture out and see that one in the theater. Because I could also see that one being like greatly affected by being on the big screen. Hey Eric, how's it going? I don't know if half your comment got cut off or something, but it just says, oh, it says yo. Okay, yep, just a typo. Yo, you'll be at Little Giant. I will see you this weekend. Got our pal. Hello, I hope everyone is doing well. If not, I hope things get better for you. Our pal Michael with his classic entrance. Looking forward to oh, okay, you're picking up breeding. Nice. I haven't seen him in a few years at a show. We did have dinner together at Colorado Springs one year. That was fun. I'll show off two things that I'm bringing to get signed at the show. Not by Brett, but I have an original page that I've carried for 25 years. I've had it since Daryl got it back from original art returns from Marvel. It is the Captain America annual from 2001 page. That's the original Golden Age Human Torch and Torchy or Toro. And this was drawn by Daryl Banks, and Daryl and I are still friends. And I bought this from him when he first got it back from Marvel. And this is a story that was written by Dan Jurgens, and Dan will be there. I'm hoping to get this signed by Dan. And then I also have this page, which I think I showed off on the stream when I got it. This is a Ron Friends page from Thor the Unworthy one shot of Thunderstrike. And I always like Thunderstrike. And it's inked by Keith Williams, who's going to be at the show, and written by Tom DeFalco. So what I'm hoping is you got Ron right here who signed it. I'm hoping to get Tom and Keith right at the top. So that would be a good one. So if I could get Dan to sign right next to Daryl on the Captain America annual page with the Invaders. It was an Invaders story, so it had all the old Invaders on it. And if I could get that signed, that would be a very successful convention for me. But I have had that Captain America Invaders page for 25 years. I thought about that when I was looking at it, and that just kind of hit me. So yeah, last show I had one thing to get signed by David Michelinie. It was an issue of Aquaman from Adventure Comics, and it was one of his first jobs at DC. And the line was crazy, and it was actually the folks at CBCS, one of their reps, actually helped me get in line. And I never like to be like, I'm a guest, I gotta jump the line. I never jump lines. You'll see me standing in line just like everybody else. And in this case, I just had one, and he basically said, like, if you don't come with me, you're not getting it signed, because there's a guy who's just getting in line over and over again with stacks and stacks of books, and he will keep him busy until it's closed. So that was the one time oh, thanks, Eric. Yeah, I mean, I hope to see Keith and Tom, just because I knew them from back in the day, but I don't know Dan at all. But yeah, if I get busy, that would be very helpful. So thank you, because I'm just doing the show by myself, so I don't have any help at the table or anything. I was just making sure my credit card machine works before the stream. And I just talked to the folks over at New England Comics. I just talked to Tom, and I will be at NEC in Brockton for Free Comic Book Day. I don't think I have time this year, but I do believe that I'm looking at the cost for mini comic printing, and I'm hoping to get a chapter of Undersea Hero printed as a mini that doesn't cost me a lot, that I can just give away on Free Comic Book Day in future years. And by then I'll have at least another issue done. So, which I've already started scripting, and we have a title, we have a bunch of gags, so like that's coming together. Oh, nice! You'll have a table there. I've never done that one, so yeah, I'm happy to chat about it. I have a couple of printers I normally go through, but I'm just looking for a good deal for giveaways. The minis that we did for what is it? For Undersea Hero. Yeah, something like we did for the making of zine, but having the finished art in it. These basically cost me $1 a piece. And it's just, I think it's 12 pages. Two. Yeah, so that's 8. Yeah, this is 12 pages, and I think these cost me less than $1 a piece, and that's kind of what I want to be at for a giveaway. So I appreciate it, Martha's. It's going to be a regular issue 2 will be a regular sized issue, but like that'll be after I do some short stories and stuff. Something about the turtles thing. Oh, at Jetpack. I've heard it's a great event. I've just never been invited, and I don't really know the Jetpack guys, so I know Woodall is long-standing friends. They published uh, his comic there. What was the one? The space one. My brain's not working. I feel bad. He had covers by McGinnis and Michael Avon Oming. God, what the hell was that comic called? Having a brain cramp. I might be at Granite State this year for the first time. I was talking to them. Again, just no beef with them. Just I was never one of their guys. So Granite's always been one of those shows where people have told me that some people do well at it and some people don't. So I'm always willing to compete. That's what I like to say. Show up, put my game face on, put my best foot forward, and give it a shot. I know they do lots of turtle stuff, and I figured that would give me an advantage because having done a few turtles covers, I find I don't know my relationship with the characters is just that I did some variant covers, and at one point I did enough to be included on one of the Skyline covers, which was pretty cool. I was down next to Todd McFarlane. Oh, cool. Kevin will be there. I haven't seen him in a few years, actually. The last time I saw him was at San Diego. Said hello when he was over at he was not at the IDW booth. I want to say he was at the heavy metal booth. Mike Manley will be there, yeah. Are you a fan of his? Do you like his stuff? I saw that Jonathan mentioned he likes his stuff for the Transformers. It depends, Barthas. Like sometimes you can get really good deals. I try to book out really far in advance so that like if I have to get a hotel, it's not going to cost me like an arm and a leg. I also just don't want to be a burden on people. So like if I have family in the area, I don't necessarily like want to rely on them for my profession. I have lots of recommendations for shows that have great public transportation. That's one of the best cost saving measures that you can have at a show, in my opinion. If you're not taking cabs, you know, I don't think I very very rarely ever stay at the host hotel of whatever it is. Like this weekend, I'm not staying at the hotel. I'm staying at another one in town, but not the host hotel that the show has there. I always mention it. I always say Cleveland's underrated because you got the train that goes right to the from the airport to right downtown. So you can stay if you can get a deal out by the airport, or if you can stay anywhere along the line. It's excellent, and the train's only a couple bucks. So I mean, some shows I go to and the show foots the bill. Like I'm kind of in that area where, for some smaller shows it's worth it for them to have me out, or if I'll do programming or I'll do artwork for a show, or they're just a fan of something I worked on. Like there are some shows that are just big fans of the Tick, and I did it. It sounds crazy, but I did 10 years on the book. A medical conference, yeah. You got to make money to write it off, so we gotta sell some stuff first. I will be opening my web store probably next month. That's what it looks like. So if anybody that didn't jump on the Kickstarter is now intrigued by the fact that we will be an internationally published book with our French edition, you'll be able to snag a copy there. I don't think I will be offering all of the variant covers on the website. I believe at the beginning it will just be the regular base cover. Hey, Brian, how you doing? How you feeling? Do we need to make jokes about the Bionic Man this weekend? Is that what will happen? There's our parademon, our foreground. I tried to go with my parademons. I wanted them to look more like the weird, dopey, Kirby looking ones. So. Well, this is the old school comic show, so there will be some of us old comic fans there. Believe me. Oh, you can hear your heart beating. Wow, that's kind of neat. That is something you can rely on. You can wake up in the morning like, oh yeah, there it is. It's going to be a good day. Ticker's going. That. Okay, well, we've got our framing parademons. We've still got a long way to go. So I think we should start on the main figure. Let's start up here. Yeah, it'll when it's done, it'll be lots of lines, hell of a lot of lines, a lot of work. But when friends of mine who have supported me for a long time, commission something or buy something, I try to go, as you know, Brian, I try to go above and beyond. So. I think that this figure is too big to work on during the stream because I'm going to lose my perspective of all the different pieces. So we're going to keep working on like the parademons, and if we can get those done, that would be really good. I don't think we're going to get them all done, but if we can get, because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are just silhouettes after this one. So we have 1, 2, 3. We got 3 to go, so that's not bad. So actually, I do need to pull up on the line thickness on this a little bit. But I showed off the stuff that I'm going to bring up to get signed for me. Let me get my circle template. Just need the little circles. Get ourselves a 0.3. Yeah, when I don't have to worry about like a cover or anything on this. So like I don't have to worry about there being any text on here at all. So I can really just think about the composition and the movement and the foreground, middle ground, background, and how I want all those things to interact with one another. So that's kind of the focus of, because doing a pinup is very different than doing a cover in that you don't have to worry about the graphic design elements with a pinup. I know there's a lot of covers out now that are in fact pinups, but I try to differentiate because there's a different ask. You're doing a different task. You found out you're lousy at maintaining character consistency during head turns. Yeah, up and down can be tough because you got to change the way that you're looking at the skull. That's a common thing. It just takes practice. when I was doing the research on what the parademons look like from the Fourth World, the Kirby stuff, I was looking at the pages from New Gods, and I noticed that even he drew them different from panel to panel, and like he's considered the greatest of all time. So don't beat yourself up over it, and you know, even on the same page, you would have parademons that look different. So. One thing I've been working on is the distance from the jaw to the ear, that wrap around with the cheekbone. I've been trying to get that to work with different head shapes. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I tend to look at there's a couple of different Instagram accounts that models do specifically for art reference, which is nice. And they'll do classic poses, which is really good. Because if you've taken figure drawing, you know that if a model isn't trained how to pose, and when they are, there's a big difference, and they know how to arrange in a 3D space their body for a composition. And they're trained how to do it. You know, it's a skill that they're trained and paid to do. One of my little tricks. That's right, strike a pose. You got it, Pat. One of my little tricks when you're composing many figures that have to have a consistency to them. I don't know if I should even be divulging this, but it's a good. I know you like all the little hacks you can find. Is when you're designing your page, like here's a really simple one. You know, on Kirby's designs, these shoulder pieces were different lengths on different parademons. You know, the ones up here are a little different. So, like, unless I know that they're going to be consistent, I try to show them asymmetrically, meaning like you won't see both sides of them on the same plane in the same shot. And that way, you know, people can tell when two things next to each other don't look right, but if they don't have anything to compare it to, you can get away with it being a little off. And the commissioner on this case didn't ask for this action or any of this stuff. He just basically is like, draw what you tell me how much it is for this character I want, and draw it however you want. I especially like drawing for people who I like. It's a really nice thing. IG has some nice art this week about the Artemis 2 missions. Shout outs to. Oh, very cool. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of the beautiful pictures they posted. Although I was talking about this with Camille, I'd like to see them not touched up. They've definitely been given the magazine cover treatment with like color correction and stuff. And I can tell just because I've done that level of editing before for landscapes and model shoots and all kinds of things, so I know what to look for. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. They're real pictures. I just want to see them before they get cleaned up, is all. Just like I like to see with any other pictures. I like to see what they look like just through the lens. Try to do kind of more of the squared off Kirby fingers than what my fingers tend to look like. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Voyager, definitely. We all remember the pictures that were published from the Hubble Space Telescope. Just these incredible pictures, but yeah, the color touch-up. I'm just curious. I would love to see it without the touch-up. Because I love the space program. I loved when I was a kid. I watched all the NASA stuff. I remember this show called From the Earth to the Moon that was on HBO or one of those expensive channels that my parents got after my dad got his new job. Probably bit off more than I can chew with this drawing, but I feel like this figure I'm going to be able to knock out when I have it down in front of me pretty quickly. The way I have to stand for the stream is not conducive to a tall figure. It really just needs to be on like on my lap board. Sitting down is the best position for me to work on that. And part of that is just how the dexterity in my hand and my wrist. I can't do the big longer arches, where you use your back muscles to draw too. Um, use your scapula, your shoulder. You can feel it when you do like a big long swoopy line. Definitely never wanted to be an astronaut though. That was not my fascination with it. It wasn't like, oh, I want to go up on a spaceship. I just thought it was just the coolest stuff. All the science fiction and stuff I read as a kid. There we go. Okay. The one tweak that I messed up on as far as my design goes was I thought parademons had 4 fingers. So I'm sure some DC fan will be like, that is not correct. Look at the actually meme. I've seen that meme. Actually. Well, and we're spending all this time on these characters that are in the background. Well, hopefully when we draw the main figure, they're just in support of, these will not distract from anything, but they'll give a greater sense of danger, of scene, of action. It's the gist of it. Thanks, Ethan. It certainly is a busy drawing. I don't know if it'll be a good drawing when it's done, but I can safely say it will be busy. Be a lot going on. So if the commissioner needed to get their money back, they could charge by the line, I think. Like charging by the pound. So go up here and get to work on the next one. It's already 9 o'clock, my word. I'm going to have to be very productive on this tomorrow, even with packing and everything that I still got to do. Yeah, me too, Martha. So I like when you can revisit a drawing. It's not quite as bad as the world record page with all of the krill force on it. These ones that go further back will be more in shadow than these foreground ones. And that was it's kind of the idea is you build on what you've already built here and here. And as you go back, you don't have to show quite as much. I don't think I have my phone on me. I don't know if I can look up the. It's driving me nuts. Images. Johnny Reagan. That's the name of it. At OK Comics. This was a commission for the show this weekend for a client, and they wanted the character Nubia, and I wanted to have it be an action scene. So we have Nubia fighting some parademons in front of Apocalypse, the big flaming planet. So we'll have Kirby dots. We'll have some fun with it. That's kind of the idea. Just having some Kirby influence, and still, I think that I tend to fall short when I reach for some of those influences. When I look at my own stuff, but we'll do our best. But thank you. People seem to like the busier drawings. So. But yeah, this is just a commission. When it's done, hopefully I don't mess it up and they like it. That's what we shoot for. Yeah, to a degree, for sure. Yeah, I would agree with that. But in this case, it's really like I think that my work is best when it's a little quieter. I don't think I do action particularly special. I think that my actions look posed at times and a little stiff, even when I don't use reference and I'm just constructive and exaggerating. I think that my work, when I do superhero comics, is best when there is more drama than action. Which is kind of antithetical to the genre. So, which is one of the reasons why I use humor. Like, I think I can use humor to say something about the genre, use those ideas, and stick to my guns. Like, I can use my strengths and I think that I'm better at choreographing something that has a punchline than, like a, you know, crescendo of like a fight, coming up with the end of a fight. I could come up with a joke and I could come up with a surprise, but coming up with just like choreographing fight scenes is not my best ability because I kind of stopped watching new action movies many years ago. I still watch old action movies, but that's why some of my stuff tends to look a little slower than like, a John Wick that is like comedically timed and paced and everything. And I think that's one of I think that's one of the reasons that those movies I've only seen like part of one, but I think they kind of work because there is such a comedic element to them. And I don't know why some people didn't realize that they were funny. But that's just me. Don't worry, we're just chunking it out, and then we'll go in and we'll add our lighting. And with these background characters, there's just not going to be as much to them that's not obscured by shadow. So we have to get our silhouette. We're really going for the silhouette. You like them when they're a little less rushed than Kirby's. I see. Yeah. That's an interesting way to put it. Because he was cranking them out, he was doing however many books a month at that time. Martha says I can't pull off that manga thing where the limb is wavy because they're moving fast either. Well, that just takes letting go of that space and knowing where your moment of action height is. And the reason he's in shadow a lot is because he's right in front of this blaze, and the only way you got kind of two choices at that point. You can either white it out or you can silhouette it, and in this case I opted for the silhouette. And you see that this one is less, this one has some shadow, this one has a fair amount of shadow, and then this one will be almost all shadow, and then these will just be silhouettes in the background. So we're trying to make some. This won't be a circle, so we can't use our circle template, so we're just going to freehand it. Try to hope for the best. Cheap viewers on streamsomething.com. Got our spam of the night. Must be getting good traffic tonight if we're getting the spam. Good job, everyone. Good job. Round of applause. Go team. All right, we'll have to pull out the pencil because I didn't get finished on this, but on this one, I really just want to have the face, part of the face, like the mouth, got our head. Jay Kennedy, another guest of the Little Giant Old School Comic Show, has just entered the chat. I'm sure Jay will have all sorts of new artwork and paintings and prints and all kinds of stuff. We got to start talking about next year, actually, because next year, Jay, is what do we have? 2020 years of Fat Cat Funnies is next year, so we will have to do a special edition, or we'll have to do something. We got to start talking about that. Oh, it is 9:15 and I am feeling it. There was a time when I used to be able to work till like 10 or 10:30 at night. At my age, that is not a thing anymore. And in this case, one of the little dynamics that this is fun is like you can see how the arm crosses ahead and it cuts into the design, the circle that's on his chest, and that's just a dynamic way to use the design for your advantage and just show it to a viewer in a different way. Let's see here, and because this is going to mostly be a silhouette, we can have a little fun with it. We can kind of fudge things, and we don't have to be too attached to our anatomy. We can just kind of have fun and make it dynamic looking. So that's kind of what the goal is. And look, this thing's only a couple inches tall. See, we don't have to ink all of that. We can just come down like this, and show the breaking points. And it'll make sense once we black it out. Oh, I forgot to do the eyes. Where did I put my most important part? Shoulder and elbow circles, are they a different size? Yeah, in this case, it a little bit, but it doesn't really matter because this is just going to be a silhouette. And so are these other ones that you see over here. So, and those you're going to see, we'll just bang those out real quick. When you have silhouettes like that, you can move pretty quick on them. That's my 0.5. Here we go. Like I said, these are parademons and they're just background characters, so it's not a necessity that we get everything on the first go by. If you've ever seen the original drawings of the parademons by Kirby, They're definitely clunkier. That's not the one I was looking for. Is this the right pen? Maybe. Yes, that's the right pen. And silhouettes are fun, so you can just play with them and have kind of a gotta square off that thumb. Okay. We've got her cloak that we have to worry about, so we'll just mark that off a little bit. It comes down like this. You can see like the edge of her fur coat thing is right there, so oh, that's right. I forgot the little shoulder pad thing. There we go. We'll get our fill brush, and like I said, these are just silhouettes, so we can just fill these in completely. And then they take a hold on like different dynamic when you do that, especially the eyes. Those little just circles, just pure circles. And you can see what happens. You can see where like the arm is coming forward, and it actually makes it look like the arm is coming forward in front of those circles by just cutting off that shape. You're informing the viewer with a shape they're very familiar with that something is impeding it. And in this case, you can see the hand coming forward, and it just makes it so that you know that that arm is in front of that shoulder plate or chest plate or whatever you want to call it. And when we layer our background, it'll blend even more because there's going to be curvy dots here. There's going to be curvy dots that come down this way and it'll go over this way. So like, it's going to be a very busy composition. So try not to mess it up. And you can see how it changes. You can see the difference of when it becomes a silhouette versus when you have those tubes and everything. Obviously, one of the best to ever do it with silhouettes in comics, and really was like his go-to, was Frank Miller for a long time. We got one down here. Fill this in. And there we go. We did a big pile of parademons. Some of this still needs to get blacked out, but we'll clean it as we go. You know, we still got a lot to go through. But I think we got all the minions done, which is good, because it's easy for me to focus down on a main figure. It's hard for me to focus on minions when that's what's left at the end. So, just from a mental game. Well, we're almost at 9:30, and I think that's a good place to stop. So, exactly, yeah. You can still differentiate that there's an arm coming forward, and you notice that it's impeding that front part there. So, like, it's not just informed by the hands, but it's reinforced right there. So, you know, that's much different than having to like render out everything, obviously. And it shows a difference. It's just a visual difference. Like, you know that these, by virtue of their rendering, these are, you know, different. So, hey, thanks, Brian. I'll see you in a few days. Have a good night, everybody. And thanks for coming to hang out. And yeah, we'll see you next week and we'll do a recap. And yeah, have a good night.